way bad. I don't know what I was doing.
Alright, everybody, welcome to Dragons in the Dining Room.
Where are my dragons?
Right here.
I would be DM Thaco,
It's familiar.
DM of the North. There's going to be a lot of...
He just totally hijacked your title.
Yeah.
I object. That is the...
A lot of references today as the start of the last season is today. We will be probably stopping the game about 15-20 minutes shy of 8 o'clock Central Time because that's when the show starts. And that will be fun there. Next Sunday, we're probably not going to be here as it's Easter Sunday, and a lot of people are going to be hanging out with family, doing church activities, and trying to find little round dyed objects with candy in them.
And money. There's money in these ones.
Woo!
Okay,
My kids are going to be
I am going to
motivated.
throw all of the kids in the back of the truck, lock them in there, and I'm hunting for the eggs.
There's money and candy.
Right, but I'm going to take all the money so I can get a new microphone.
I don't think it's going to be enough.
It's change.
Change is good.
Also, we are getting extremely close to our 50 followers. We're at 47 out of 50. Once again, I know we've mentioned this on a few prior streams. I'll keep saying it until it happens. Once we hit 50, we are looking at doing a giveaway, and it will be on one of our random streams. Again, we're looking at a player's handbook, maybe a couple sets of dice, something fun like that for anybody who's interested.
3. So what we should do is we should each make another Twitch profile
No,
and then
I
follow.
will not allow cheating.
No.
I will not allow cheating. I want legitimate followers.
I'm kidding.
Well, I'm pretty sure most of our followers aren't legitimate, just to throw that out there. Love you guys.
So, again, today we are doing Sand and Magic. A few of our players are running a little bit late, so they'll join us when they get here. Last we left off, they were in a chamber at the end of a long hallway, the hallway of the Pharaohs. Inside this chamber, they saw 8 large statues, each depicting what looks to be a humanoid figure wearing a mask or head of an animal.
Falcon, jackal, leopard.
Falcon, jackal, leopard.
Did your brain go?
The one tomb, the guild challenge with the opposite. Okay. Where did your brain?
He was talking about certain references.
Oh, yeah, that too.
While they were taking a bit of a rest, they also set fire to the braziers on 2 large oxen statue, waiting for the braziers to finish burning. As soon as the smoke started to clear, on the far side of the room, just by those oxen statues, the wall separated. And as the wall separated, they saw a mummy lumbering toward them from this room.
Was it wearing flannel?
And inside this room, they saw as a backdrop to it a large circular stone object with a purple energy rippling inside that circle. As they engaged with this mummy, they also managed to find themselves beset upon by 2 cats.
This was not a mummy fight. This was the kitty fight.
That wound up making life absolutely miserable for a certain somebody, as she found it was absolutely necessary to spend the entire fight petting the
Necessary?
kitty. It is really hard to speak sometimes when you have no teeth.
Makes other things.
And when we left off our last game, they had managed to emerge victorious after the fight. And while one of them is pouting greatly,
I don't think I got a single attack action that
nope.
entire combat.
And then you even got gypped out of the pretty gold necklace as you notice that as the felines succumb to death, their necklaces started to tarnish and fade into rusted, pitted jewelry.
Keep your bubbles, dear, and laugh at something far more important.
We have a JoJo at the door.
Looks like our other players have finally made it. This is a good thing.
Yes.
So, minor pause while everybody puts their dices and books where they belong.
You just started recapping.
I've noticed more of a book has started to
Yes.
So,
Yeah. You have mud boots. That's awesome. Well, there's no mud boots.
Joey, I have mud boots.
Yep.
I'm getting a really
That's
weird
enough.
look at Jeremy. He's doing a really creepy look on his face.
When isn't he doing a really creepy look on his face?
I'll give you that. Fair enough.
Hey, Bo.
I love the end
Okay, you know that your mom's sit there.
Hey, Jeremy.
So you can sit over there. I'm just playing the thank you. Yeah. I'm just sitting over there. Your mom's right here.
Oh, okay, I forgot this.
Welcome. Have a seat. No. Jess, you were told to sit on that side of the table.
Yeah, this side, so you don't have to worry about the camera.
Yes, I'm sitting here. You are sitting there, yes.
This one literally just hits the side.
Oh. Are you selling these as well?
Who else is buying? Oh, that's...
One of my friend's daughters is doing the same thing.
Who?
For me?
No, so I just put it next to you.
I thought you were teasing me. She's part of the group that went to Hawaii just recently.
He's already sold 9, and they're only required to sell 5.
I don't think she's got more than 3. So. Yeah, her daughter is part of the group that just came back from Hawaii.
Just a warning. We'll should take off the rash.
Oh, don't worry about it so much.
You can do it
take
if
it
you
off
want.
as you get the chance.
He is my asshole character.
Oh, here.
And he's not very nice.
This will make it easier.
He's
Love of my life, will you help me get Minecraft set up super quick?
Yeah, 1 second. We have to entertain small children. I'm using used balance. Okay.
I'm just not sure which one they're on. They go under like
There's two right there.
The yellow and the orange are now sitting.
You are pressing buttons.
I'm not trying to slice you. If I was trying to slice you, you'd be sliced already.
She's got a point.
Yeah.
The people who have been in martial arts with me are like,
Yeah.
weapons buddy! Okay, that was my box. I thought I killed you.
I'm fine. You know I'm a lot harder to kill than that.
I'll be back. So I forgot my better cards and dice.
Yeah, near impossible.
Behave.
Just difficult. Not near impossible, just difficult.
I find myself referred to as difficult. I disagree. I went to go, I love my shirt, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Alright.
That is one of my dragons.
You just want British and Southern in like 3
Yeah.
words.
I got one actual. See, I met this dragon once, and he was black and beautiful, and
So,
then there was a DM.
we are missing one. I don't know.
He forgot his dice.
No,
His cards.
Jess. Do you have a mini, or do I have to grab
There
one
is
for
a
you?
mini, I think it's in there for her. And I think it is hers.
I think I'm the only one without an actual mini yet.
I was
Don't
looking
hold
for
her.
one and couldn't find one yet.
I have the special.
Oh.
Ben told me just to order online now.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he can't.
Forget.
He can't get one.
I am in a turn down now.
I know I have my own, but I couldn't be able to find it. So I'm pretty sure.
I think it's in here.
In due time, we will have minis for everybody, but I'm not quite that rich yet.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
Or we could get some viewer love. Pick a
I'm pretty
favorite.
sure I left mine.
That's it, right?
I guess.
hopefully
it
that's
Do you
is,
need
that's
help?
what we used.
It's not, but it'll work.
What?
Always. Sorry, not there.
I mean, it's a female druid, so.
It'll work.
For the time being, we'll use that
Oh,
one.
it's my Thorn alt mini.
Okay.
That's a good one because her druids kind of kick butt too.
I'm just doing last and I do need it. When I get paid, I am ordering Oriana and Vestra.
Right.
I'm doing it.
I need to make.
I need to get a better Utgar and
There's an arm flip.
I just can't.
Alright. So,
You have your wish. All I can see is like the very tip of your nose,
Mhm.
and that's when you're leaning all the way forward.
so
Yeah, I told her it's like literally
You can't see.
barely.
Yeah.
I've got your profile, so as long as you don't look over your left shoulder, you'll be fine.
You'll
So-
forget they're there after a while. I do often
For-
embarrass myself frequently.
Yeah.
For
It's
those
kinda
of
fun.
you who just made it to my table, quick recap. You guys got into a fight in this room with a mummy and 2 cats, and managed to come out of the fight successfully. Now that the cats and the mummy thing are dead, you have this room. And you have the chamber that opened up in front of you with the large stone circle and the purple magical ripply effect inside of it. And the hallway that leads back the way you came.
I'm gonna take a nap.
You're gonna take a nap?
Yeah,
Okay.
I hurt.
Boy, kitty. You pet the cat the entire time.
Yes, and that's
You
what
say
hurt me.
you sat down, picked up kitty, sat down, picked up kitty. You don't know my kitty. Kitty.
Yeah, no, Jess, I didn't get a single attack the entire combat.
No, she literally went, ow, you hurt me. I set you down, but you're too cute to sit down.
It's like having a
4
toddler. When they want to go, or they don't want to go somewhere, and you try and take them somewhere, and you pick them up, and they're like, ah! And then you set them down, and they're like, I'm sorry, I love you, and you're like, oh, come here. Yes.
Yes.
You guys are now in this room, and as you guys are starting to recover from the fight, you pout because you can't even get jewelry off the kitties, so you decide to lean up against one of the pillars and take a nap.
I want to check where Sir Mummy came from.
Okay? As you,
Oh, go ahead.
in case you end up in the same place, what would you like to do?
I was gonna go over there.
Alright, so,
Which one's Ash at? Silver?
Silver.
yeah, the big silver
Color
one.
number
That,
silver?
the one that takes up the most room, because look at me, I'm Ash.
Pretty
Well, that
much.
fits.
I'm not gonna lie about him, but he's
Light,
a jerk.
Light,
Yeah.
what would you like to do?
Take another nap.
You're gonna lay down too? Alright. Norland?
Will inspect the room as well.
Okay.
Purple, pretty glow.
And Amara.
I'm gonna rest.
You're gonna rest down? So the 3 of you are going to lay down, sort of, and take a bit of a rest. Ash, Norland, and Katie.
It's only been 6 years. About time you got my name right.
Behave.
I'll
That
walk
was-
into, can you move Norland into the room with you as
I'll
well?
walk into a bar.
As the 3 of you, yeah, what is it? Halfling barbarian, a dragonborn sorcerer,
And a
and a
high elf.
human, and a high elf?
I'm a moon elf.
Oh, you're
Wait, half orc.
dragonborn.
He's a dragonborn.
I thought you said a half orc.
Half
He
orc.
said-
Barbarian.
Halfling barbarian.
Oh, okay. I heard half orc.
We got Q-tips if you need them.
And you're not going to tell him to behave?
He's
I'm a
the DM.
DM.
Better brothers.
No, better than a cute.
When you make your way into that room,
A hearing aid.
Katie, what are you doing when you enter this room?
I want to walk around where the mummy came out, and I want to see if he left anything, like, baubles, trinkets, something that will go in that slot upstairs that we still don't know where that hole is for.
Okay. And Ash, what are you looking for in this room?
A girlfriend.
Well, it won't be you.
Ash, Ash, what are you looking for?
I'm
You're too feisty
looking
for
at
Too
if
feisty
there's
for
so
pretty much
it's
everybody.
a stone circle.
Yeah, it's made out of
Personality
Stop.
flaw.
I'm gonna look to see if there's any like inscriptions.
She's
or-
in love with it now.
And Norland, when you make your way into this room, what are you looking for?
She's true to form, but the car has no
So
clue
it's
she
purple
exists.
glow, correct?
Say that one more time.
It still has that purple glow.
Oh yeah.
You want I'm gonna poke it.
Oh no.
Touch it.
All right. So,
I'm like this.
And come back.
Katie, as you start to make your way around the room, you notice that there is an indication that there used to be bubbles and knickknacks and whatnot in this room. However, it appears that most of it has succumbed to time and is now just dust on the ground. You see piles of what looks like ancient wood that has turned into termite food, for lack of a better term.
Ash, watch this.
However,
Dust in the wind.
roll me a Constitution save.
Oh no! Me?
Yeah, you're the one who just went. Woof.
Blowing the dust away from me.
You
Okay.
still have to inhale first.
It's a 5.
It's a 5. As you go, it turns into this huge cloud in front of you, and some of it does kind of roll off the wall at you. And yes, you wind up hacking up a lung as this dust. Not only does it get in your nostrils, you can taste it, and your eyes start to burn a little bit.
Tastes like cat butt.
It was probably not the bestest of choices to do that.
At least I'm having fun.
Do a
However,
real slow clap.
it accidentally did wind up being a good thing. As there's a piece of parchment on the ground there.
I'm not gonna keep.
Moving on, Ash.
What?
As you walk up
Amara?
to this
Yes.
circle of stones, there are inscriptions on it. And as you look at it, it is in that strange language that you guys have seen carved all over the place throughout this entire facility. And you can make head nor tail of it. And while you're doing that, all of a sudden Norman walks up next to you and goes, gone. You vanished.
Oh
I'm invisible.
no! No!
No,
You're probably in another
If I
plane
hadn't seen
dimension.
him touch it, I probably and had I been
That's
any other
like
character, I would have freaking jumped. But Ash would not jump.
I'm gonna pick up the portrait.
One-
Amora, look at.
1 second, boys and girls. I need to go steal Claire. Come here.
Oh no.
No, it's more of the reaction of like Ash is now swearing.
The DM's taking him to the rat. Is that kid's head?
What?
He's not disappeared. If you die in character, does that mean you die in real life? Yes, the DM comes to find you full screen.
Okay.
Well, I'm definitely taking the part.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
Yes.
Even better.
Okay.
I am going to
How about swearing in Sylvan?
I'm
carefully.
This all happened pretty much
Oh, you don't know that?
simultaneously. You went, hey Amara, and you went, and he went, poop, all roughly the exact same moment.
Oh god, don't touch the dust! I knew I was strong, but oh gosh. What God. Wait, I found parchment!
It wasn't you, it was him that touched the freaking purple. Ah!
The purple what?
So you three who were trying to rest for a moment
Don't
are
get it.
interrupted by this calamity in the other room.
Does that mean do we have to roll anything to see if we stay asleep or not?
Would you have fallen asleep in 12 seconds?
Yeah, about
I
Unless
was
you're Tia.
Fair enough.
I had 2 hit points left.
Same.
Well,
so she might have.
I'm not assuming you guys were going to sleep. I was assuming a short rest for the time being.
I did say take a nap.
Yes, but you can take a nap and a short rest simultaneously.
Yeah, but that would
A nap is 30 minutes.
imply I was going to sleep.
A short
That
rest
doesn't
is
mean that
an
you're
hour.
already asleep.
So,
Either way.
Anywho, you guys had about 12 seconds to settle in, so you barely even had a chance to close your eyeballs before this calamity happened.
Close your eyeballs. Ew.
Amora, I got parchment and one of the shiny wacky wackies is gone now. Yeah, and I'm gonna give her the parchment because she seems like
you
the
walk
most,
out of the room and hand it to her?
yes,
Okay.
she seems like the most responsible one of all of us. So she should probably have it.
I'm sorry, but that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
This looks important. Hold this.
Let me stuff in my bag.
I think my cross classes are rogue.
Woo! Chucky.
Or you could look at it and see what it says. I might not be able to read it. You might be. Or the adopted one might be able to read it. I don't know. She reads these weird markings on buildings and then knows whether or not to go into them.
So you're going to look at this strange parchment? that
Yeah,
she gave you?
got it.
Awesome.
That's never a good thing. Awesome.
You take a moment and look at this, and I grabbed the wrong book. Grabbed the right book this time.
It's never the right one left.
And that's fine.
You're not a princess. You know nothing, and I'm looking for my dragons. Damn it, we're all lost.
When you take a look at this piece, at this parchment, you have a bit of a difficult time at first trying to figure out what it is. So do me a favor and roll either a nature or a religion.
So, did you just claim it?
Who?
Religion has +4.
So you're trying to find your dragon. So did you just claim it?
No, it's not a real dragon.
But he's
Six,
got
seven,
that.
16 +4.
He's probably dragon.
So how much? Just add 4 to the.
Valamogulus.
So
But we are
20.
not men.
20? Yeah, it takes you a minute because it's written slightly different than what you're familiar with. You're a druid. You mostly deal with this nature stuff, so your magic is a little more innate. You normally don't write this stuff down on scrolls and whatnot. This one's written down on a scroll, but it uses very similar language to you. And you recognize it as a cure wounds scroll.
Nice. What is it? Can you read it?
Now, you being familiar with magic and stuff, you realize that if you actually read the scroll out loud, it will burst into flames and become active.
What does
But
it
you
say?
can- But you can describe what it is.
Is it a story?
It's a cure wounds.
Oh. I got wounds. But maybe we should save that.
I got wounds.
You got yours from a cat. It was your fault.
And I'm losing my blood.
Well, wait, what about, so Nolan disappeared. He touched a wall and went like that.
Sorry.
He looks like it.
Sorry.
Yeah, go touch it. See what happens. Go see if it does it again. That's a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
Well, if he touches it, maybe he'll be wherever
And
Nolan
just
is.
picture
And
John
Be like,
Travolta
if you think it'll work,
decked out like
you
a
could try it.
D&D character and singing that.
Take down the power.
I do it. Is it
If
upside
we
down?
go with
It means nothing
current,
to you.
yes. Old
I don't think I
Travolta when he
can.
was younger, probably more of a bard.
I mean, you can attempt to, if you would like. That is actually something that I'm a little more lax on than the book says.
Vuli.
No, that's not right. So,
Woolly what?
just guess where she was going with that one.
Woolly goose?
Are you talking about
Shippity boppity boo.
So, just, and I'm gonna give you guys this heads up here. Something I'm a little more lax on than the books does. The books say if you can't cast the spell, you can't use the scroll. I'm not a big fan of that concept. If you can make the requisite skill check, you can cast the scroll.
Well, it's like in Dragon Heist.
Technically, there's only a few universal scrolls. Every other one, if it's not in your spell list, you can't use it. Fair. Like that familiar scroll you gave me, I technically couldn't use it as a sorcerer.
Why
But that's dumb.
we retweet?
Right.
Oh. I'm still learning the finer points of this tweeting thing.
It's okay, I don't really understand it either.
It's rot then.
That's why I'm the geek. So, Norland's vanished. You now have a Cure Wounds scroll that came from one of the piles of dust.
I want to look through more piles of dust.
How are you going to...
Jojo.
So pretty much I could say it and then throw it so flames go
Really?
into the dust to try to see.
Well, I said it vanished.
We can just gently.
Say,
What
can
are you
I say
doing?
it so
Spanish?
before a person flame it, I can throw it into the dust to see if that works.
You can do whatever you think would work.
Dangerous thing to do.
I
Crawl
gained
under
the
this
cloak
table.
of
There's
invisibility.
whatever you think is going to work, let me know and we'll see if it does.
I figured I'll cast it, but before a person to flame, I'm going to throw it into the dust where he.
Well, you would know what Cure Wounds is. Cure Wounds is a healing spell.
True.
Well,
I'm not gonna touch it.
what don't? Well, we need to find
Are you
Nolan
going to be digging through the dust piles?
gently, carefully.
How?
I'm going to. Does anyone have a I'm gonna crawl around just gently,
Okay.
but very gently, like, so it doesn't blow dust in the wind.
I want you to make a dexterity save.
There's shies and cookies. All right.
Place is full of trap.
14.
14?
Word, here it is.
You go to one more of these piles of dust,
Gently, like, yeah.
and as you do that, the pile of dust starts to move on you.
This one's not a scroll. This
And
one's not a scroll.
You have just enough time to do that as you back out of the way, and one of those stupid scarab bug things scurries out and then disappears into the wall.
She shivers and almost throws up.
Nope, didn't get me. We're good. That one
Big
wasn't a
bad
scroll.
halfling barbarian is running away from a little six-legged insect.
That eats flesh!
Whatever.
Whatever.
I'm not gonna minor details.
Apparently, flesh eating isn't scary to some people.
Right. I'm not gonna obey. So as you continue around and look at these different piles, you do find one more pile that has another piece of parchment in it.
Okay.
I see one
I hand it to him. Here's another one. It's not a bug. You can touch this one. Is this one a story? I like stories.
If you want to try and figure out what it is, go ahead and roll that arcane check again.
Religion.
Yeah, religion is what he is.
Or religion.
And I'm not over there right now. Where to help?
5.
5? Yeah, this one you're not familiar with. There's a few marks on there that are like, ooh, yeah, I know that one. That's this sound, but no, not sure what this one is right off the top of my head. You are a little bit distracted though because Norland is still missing,
And nobody seems to care.
and nobody's doing anything about it.
At least he's not adopted.
But you know,
And I haven't played in over a month, so I'm very lost.
Is anybody else doing anything else?
Amara, what does that one say?
I don't know how to read that one.
You don't know how to. Okay. I'm gonna walk over and see if I can help her with it.
All right.
I'm
Arcana,
gonna take a nap.
religion, whichever one's gonna work better for you.
They're both the same. 10.
10.
Yeah.
You're pretty sure.
Guys,
Pretty sure this one is a lesser spell. You're familiar with it,
so use the.
but you're not sure how it's going to work out for you as it's a friend's spell.
I just scared your son.
Okay.
I regret nothing.
This is a friend's
Fine.
spell.
You should keep that one.
Might come in handy.
Why can't we be friends?
Why can't
Can I just
we
go to
be
sleep?
friends?
Why can't we be
Sure.
friends?
Because I like to have my friends
Roll me a
taller than my kneecaps.
Constitution, however.
I'm taller than your kneecap.
I'm
You're not that much
myself.
taller. I'm 12 foot halfling.
Kita, I think he's talking about his ego.
Am I rolling on a Constitution
I don't think
save?
we're about
Just
to
a regular
ankles.
check.
What?
So the
I don't
smaller
think
the
we went
two
up to
numbers.
ankles.
Okay, 13.
But
13?
you, yeah. Probably not.
It's really warm out
Is that an
there.
elf thing?
Maybe.
What the
But
shiny
she's
one?
nice.
Well, yeah, but she's also not
Damn,
him.
Lord. Let me take it out.
Okay,
We should investigate further.
I'm gonna keep the
okay,
scroll.
that's fine.
Just 'cause you
Yeah.
don't need friends, just 'cause you need
So is anybody else doing anything else now?
So what happened to our
Tell the DM, not me.
I'm gonna go poke.
You're gonna go poke it?
Oh no.
Alright. So you're just gonna walk up and put your hand.
Jojo.
Okay. As you do that, you guys watch as light walks up to the same purple energy ripply thing. He sticks, just sticking your finger in there, sticking your hand in there. How you doing this? He buries his hand in there about elbow deep and gone. You
It really
go
wasn't the
explain to
dust.
him.
You can roll a hit die.
It's your hit die.
This it does.
So, well, and now there's just us. What? Do we go after them? Do we wait here? What if the mummy was protecting that portal and that's what we gotta go to get the Philorectodactyl?
Philotoad Rectory.
Philotoad Rectory, yes. Is that where? Well, remember the dragon explained that the lich
The
had.
Philotoad Rectory.
Yes.
And
A Phileotoad Rectory. Phileotoad Rectory.
To see if we get more.
Well, you know, I don't think there was another way, was there, that we saw?
No, like we're locked in here. What the elevator? We took it down, not up. What if we took a rest, went back to the elevator, went up? I'm sure they're fine wherever they are.
What if they're dead?
Well, then we're not, and they are. Just like our entire city's dead.
Well, yes, but they can, you know, distract things while we run away.
But if they're dead, what we're gonna do? Drag them around and call them Trap Finder?
Maybe that could work.
I heard a story about that once. It didn't end well.
Oh no.
It's a half-orc rogue and a stuffed puppy. I'm in trouble again later.
Actually, I'm waiting to know what your guys' choices are. You now have 2 of your compatriots have vanished when they touch this purple thing.
Well, let's ask the two, the narcissist and the nice one. Let's ask them what they want to do. Do we want to go?
Woo woo woo.
Yeah.
They
Oole,
figured out
boo,
how
boo.
to read the other scroll.
She told you what it was.
Yeah,
It's
it's
friends.
friends spell.
Do we want to go back to the elevator and go up, or do we? Or wait, the elevator was before the tunnels, wasn't it?
No,
The elevator was after the tunnels. Do we want to go back to the elevator and go up, or Minecraft's gonna go away
Yeah,
pretty
decide
quick?
what they're doing.
I got a spoon.
I want to grab
Where's your hammer?
I want to grab Kita and toss her in the portal.
I resist
I
wholeheartedly.
need opposed grapple.
Oh, we go through the portal.
I win.
And that's going to be it.
Strength.
That's your athletics.
That's my athletics.
Add your athletics to it.
So roll
What'd you roll?
14.
16, huh?
You go
Wait
to
a minute.
grab this little halfling thinking it's going to be an easy little chuck. And it's like, what the?
Well, when I see her grab Kita and try and throw her in, I'm like, oh no you don't, and I'm going to push him because he's trying to toss my sister.
Yes.
Roll your athletics.
I got down 20!
That
I'm
20
still-
doesn't mean anything.
Is it 25?
25?
Is it 25?
Alright. Roll your athletics.
15, and I'm still holding on to her. I never dropped her.
I know. You get Ash to move. But not very far. As you go boom and you shoulder check Ash. But Ash has a hold of your adopted sister, and you realize this as you start to bulldoze through Ash. Tina's going along with him.
Nope! Not today! You're lucky you dropped her, yeah, Ash hat.
I didn't.
Ash hasn't dropped.
I haven't dropped her.
yet. That's
Drop
why.
my sister, I'll rip out your kneecaps. Got an axe, wanna see?
Don't care.
Obviously not, so your friends are dead.
So,
It happens.
Told you to scroll. You're right, Kita.
Norland,
Yes.
you and Light, now that you are able to see each other, what would you guys like to do in your current predicament?
Well, since I was already on the ground, do I see him before he sees me?
Oh, most definitely.
I'm gonna grab by the ankle quick.
Okay, I need opposed athletics, but you're at disadvantage.
I approve of all this because I seem to remember a time when, oh no, it's got me!
So I don't add anything to it
You
then?
add your athletics to your roll.
Just remember, I do love you. But
Light.
that would be something after.
So,
Light,
16.
you're going to roll twice, take the lower of the two, and add your athletics to it.
20?
Yeah, d20 plus athletics.
Reflex is like the fourth one down.
You feeling this strange disorientation, find yourself in this place. And as you're trying to gather your wits, all of a sudden, something's got you. You're not sure. Something's got you. It came from behind and grabbed you. How are you responding to this? You have no idea what it is.
Well, I'm gonna jump. That's all.
Yes, I get that much. What are you going to do?
Possibly just turn around and see who it is.
Okay. As you start to turn, you've grabbed it. What are you doing?
Laughing.
Okay. So yeah, as you turn and look over your shoulder, you realize it's Norland, and he is giggling like a schoolgirl behind you.
Go me.
What are you
He's
guys?
kind of more like
What are you guys doing at this moment, other than the giggles?
Wanna go see the others?
Yeah, we get them when they show up.
Okay, so you guys are going to wait in ambush.
Yep.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
Back to the girls. Back to the girls. So you guys have communicated, and Ash.
Dash.
You guys have communicated, talked it over. You have two choices that have been presented with you. Go and poke this purple thing,
I need the knife
or head back
so I can cut your label.
and Jeremy,
Did you see it?
or go back
Okay,
and see
yeah.
if the elevator,
We'll go through your hand too, I don't mind.
see if the
She might.
elevator will do something.
I say it's her call. She's the smart one. Well, the not dead or disappeared one. Do we go after them? Or do we...
Or did you take the elevator?
Okay, let's go back to the elevator then.
All right. that's Katie's idea. Kita?
I hurt and I don't want to necessarily go through a portal that might kill me.
Okay, so you're gonna go to the elevator too? Ash?
You could disappear.
Because of that comment, I'm walking right next to you.
Alright. So the four of you...
Told you he liked me.
The four of you...
He doesn't know about that guy yet.
The four of you backtrack. And it takes a little while, but you get to the elevator. And what is your purpose? You're going to see about going up?
Well,
again?
we came down and we tested it to see if it would go up or down. So now we're going to try up.
Alright.
Because this was...
Who's going
that
to...
was down.
Who's going to do the work of the up?
No, he burped and it smells like butt. I'm sorry, I almost gagged.
Who's going to be doing the work to bring it up?
I'll do it.
Just you?
He could help. He's right next to me.
Guys, can I go in water?
Alright, roll me a strength.
I'm just gonna stand and watch for now.
I have 5 to diplomacy. Does that help me?
Not with strength.
Good thing it doesn't matter on strength check.
4. So you go...
You're too heavy. Get off.
It's moving, but extremely slow.
I'm gonna help
Kita,
her.
come on.
I'm gonna help her.
Roll again.
That's better. That's an 18. No, 19.
So with the assistance of Ash and Katie, you start getting this elevator to rise through the shaft.
I will rise up.
And not long, you watch as the doorway that you recognize you had come through the first time starts to descend.
I want to go slow because it was filling with water.
You start to you watch as it starts to descend, and there's a little trickle, but nothing.
I guess it wasn't that bad. I wonder if the other door opened.
As you, so you're at this door. Are you going to continue going up?
Do we go up or do we see if it opens?
Go up. We might as well keep going up.
Okay, we continue going up. I listen to the group.
Roll me another strength, either one of you.
They don't like me today. You better go.
See if she does better than last night.
Nope.
Not much better than last night.
Worse.
Alright, you guys are still making the same pace, but all of a sudden it feels like it's starting to there's more resistance. And as you do this, it's just, you continue going up, but it's almost like something is catching as you do this. But still continue to go up, still continue to go up. What are the two of you guys doing while they're...
I'm sitting down.
You're sitting down?
Yeah.
It's
Oh, you're gonna try and
she's
take
a
your
sit and
nap?
spin.
I'm just kind of shaking my head watching them try to.
Outstanding.
You want to sit and spin? Woo!
Give me one more strength check.
Try this! It's dangerous to go alone.
Be nice to me.
It's getting better.
So what
It
did
could
you
have
roll?
gotten worse.
A 6.
A 6? The resistance is still there. You're not quite sure why it's doing this because as you're spinning, the floor seems to be spinning like it normally did the very first time. But you can both feel that there is something that's making this a little more difficult. You can feel a bit of a burn in your arms now as there's this bit of resistance. You're napping.
Okay.
You guys are also in the center of the floor. You can't feel this resistance.
What if it's Nolan and Light and we're grinding their bones to dust as we go?
That is a very dark thought for someone your size.
And then all of a sudden,
Not that I didn't think it, but
all of a sudden, as you're doing this, it stops being difficult. You guys both pull, And you give it one big heave because you guys are getting tired of this resistance. You want it to just get
Right.
it going.
Right.
And you guys go, and about halfway through the grunt, it's like something gives way and it spins. I now need a dexterity save from all 4 of you.
Oh no. Oh, I'm good with that.
If things go our way, we might be the only 2 alive after this.
Give it a second. See if Ash is going to survive this or not.
It's not.
Kita.
13.
Awesome. Ash.
13.
Nice.
5.
Ouch.
23.
Alright. The floor gives way. As you do this, that little ring gives way and it spins, and it actually spins with gusto. It's almost like something is assisting with the spin.
Thank you.
You have just enough presence of mind when this happens to look, and as you look up, you realize that there are holes in the ceiling that have opened up that are about that big, and it pockmarks the entire ceiling. And as the floor starts to spin of its own volition and you're looking up, you watch as these metal spikes start to shoot straight down to the ceiling. You manage to hit the floor just before the spikes stop right above you, giving you about 4 inches of gap.
I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm
The
alive. I
rest
wet
of
myself,
you-
but I'm alive.
The rest of you, on the other hand, didn't move quite fast enough.
And I'm down.
Yes, you are unconscious, guaranteed. As
She's the most smallest one too.
10 points of piercing damage hits each of you.
Kita, I'm sorry.
And then, just as quick as it happened, the floor starts to spin the opposite direction, and the floor begins to descend.
Let's not do that again.
You're unconscious. I can't talk. I'm gonna start
Are you alive?
spinning the floor back down. Are the other 2 still conscious?
I don't know. Are
Yeah.
you 2 still conscious?
I'm
Yeah.
still conscious.
Okay.
I'm hurting, but I'm still conscious.
Yeah.
Well, up wasn't the right way unless, as I look up, was there a ceiling? Is there a ceiling the spikes came out of? Because you said wall, and then you said they came down.
Sorry, ceiling,
Okay.
and it's following you. But the spikes are receding.
We need to get out here quickly. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
As you continue to descend, those spikes are going back up into the ceiling.
Ooh, your zipper is reflecting the light right in my face.
God.
Thank you. No, not really.
More like,
There you go.
Womp, womp, womp.
Oh, that skin just glow.
You want to switch spots? We can do that because this
As
is about
you-
her. She's a cute one.
As you continue to descend, you watch as the spikes finally recede completely into the ceiling. The floor starts to slow down again. And the 2 of you watching, or the 3 of you witnessing this, realize that the reason the floor was slowing down as it was, you now watch as the stone slabs slide back into place and drop, making the ceiling look completely flush and pristine again.
This elevator is something awful.
traps.
Well, how do I?
Traps.
I want to try and make a medicine check on my sister. You know,
Do that.
not bleeding animal. Not bleeding animal.
You do that.
Wow.
Okay, then I'm gonna go beat children.
Guys.
21.
21. It takes you a little bit. Do you have a healer's kit?
I do. It
You
only
do?
has. Yeah, remember last time?
Good.
I
Good.
only have
wanted to verify.
3 uses left.
It takes you a little bit of work with the little pock marks, you know, holes in your sister now. You get her stabilized.
Don't tell her how I did this.
you get her stabilized, bandaged up, cleaned up, and I believe that if you have a healer's kit, it actually gives you HPs back, doesn't it? Or is it
Oh,
just
only if
stabilized?
you have the feet. Otherwise, it stabilizes them as 0. If you take
healer's
the
feet.
feet, then it brings them back with HP. It's
You
like
are now
1d4.
stabilized and unconscious. You are finally getting that rest you wanted.
Can I roll a hit die?
And the floor is going down of its own.
Oh,
And then it stops.
I don't like this.
And there's the hallway you guys came down originally.
It reset. Now what do we do? I almost killed my sister. You don't have any friends. What do we do? Yes, you.
Still investigate the dust. Go
The
back in the
okay,
room.
well, we'll go back to the dust and well, she's unconscious. I wonder if we held on to her and just stuck her head through, if maybe, like, that would work.
Can I hit her with the scroll?
Yeah, I can hit her with the cure wound scroll.
Is that what you would like to do? Alright. Cure wounds per the spell, I believe, is 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier.
Yep.
In this case, it's a scroll, so the modifier is automatically presented. We'll say it's a plus 3. So 1d8 plus 3.
Ooh, that's not bad.
Oh, you got a full heal?
8.
Nice. Yep. You watch as Amara pulls out the scroll. She starts to speak in this really pretty language.
Oh, he
You realize that this isn't written by another druid. You realize that this is a very divine language. You have a sneaking suspicion that it might have been a cleric who wrote this scroll. And as you finish saying the words on the parchment, it bursts into a silvery white flame. It doesn't have any heat or anything. It just consumes the scroll.
It was pretty.
And as soon as it finishes burning up, you watch as Kita, the holes in blood, starts to vanish. And she is, for the most part, healed. And awake. And probably grumpy.
Do you feel better?
Ow.
You didn't move fast enough. That was your problem.
I'm gonna cure wounds myself.
After the spell?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll your numbers, put it on your sheet. I'll trust you to be nice.
As everyone looks at her die.
Thanks, guys.
There's nobody at the table that I distrust right now.
I love that he has.
Until I find a player who can't roll less than a 13 in 27 games.
Cough, cough. He who shall not be named.
Right? And
You wasted it.
now you guys have healed up a little bit. What are you guys going to do?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is.
Well, actually, you guys take a moment, think about that. The two of you in the desert.
In the desert.
We don't know that. Just they know that.
What,
Do you want a spoon?
you guys are bored.
It's okay. He leaned back.
It's been about 5 minutes, and nothing has happened.
I dug a hole.
Right. You guys are you're taking and trying to cool yourself off of it. It is warm out there.
Cure wounds.
Roll yourself a constitution.
Me?
Nope. Like, roll a constitution, add a d20 and add a constitution modifier to it. The smaller of the
Yes, whatever. Like if you have one of cure wounds is 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier. Mine's
two. It
1d8
is
plus
ungodly hot out there.
I love the blue and the purple.
The
Yeah, there you go.
armor that you're wearing
Purple, pink,
feels like it is baking your skin.
red, blue, it goes 16 different colors.
Skin scales, whatever the case may be. It feels like it's baking you inside your armor.
your wisdom modifier.
To the point where you're afraid that if you continue to wear it as you are, it might start causing damage to you.
I'm gonna take off the bit of view on that.
You watch
Do that.
as Light starts to show severe discomfort and starts taking off his armor.
I have to put the post-it up to see.
Okay.
Takes you just a minute to realize,
So I'm trying to watch
Yeah.
the spells.
with that sun beating down on his armor, that probably isn't a good thing.
So which, obviously, is the sun coming like straight above or at an
At
angle?
this point in time, you're guessing that it is either early afternoon or late afternoon. It depends on which way the sun moves. We're not exactly sure.
So it's almost right above us.
Almost.
I don't have any second
Yeah.
Keep an eye on.
It's either at 10 or 2, but you're not sure which.
You've managed to find a little bit of safety.
Is there any just
That,
rocks
the stony outcropping behind you is the only thing that is not made of sand in the general vicinity.
Okay. And does it have a shadow?
A little bit.
Okay. If we take his armor and place it next to the stony outcrop, can we make a bigger shadow?
So you want to try and make a canopy out of his armor.
Sure.
I'll do that.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Even a little canopy, something to get us, some
Well,
shade.
how about you look at your character sheet and see if anything else might help with that idea. Hint, hint.
I would double check that. Yeah.
You too, like. Front and back.
Don't forget to check the sides too.
Well, if we really want to cool off, I guess I can use as many cantrips as I want, right?
Yes, cantrips are free.
Paladin does not get nearly as many spells.
I can use Ray of Frost on somebody on the ground and somebody off ground.
Technically, no.
So
No?
she would write
Ray of Frost does not leave a very lasting amount of cold.
So Druid,
And with the heat that you have going on here, you have a sneaking suspicion that it would evaporate as fast as you could cast it.
she has 4
Okay.
first level slots, 2 second level.
Oh.
And she
I
has
said traveler's class.
ask
Aha!
one of the
That would make you
Would I have
much more
anything
comfortable.
in there that we could like thread off of that?
That's about using
That's why I told you to look at your sheet. What do you have?
Well, I have my arcane influence, my traveler's pack.
and then you just have
Okay,
Let's see
take,
what-
yeah, take a look at the traveler's pack.
I'll put up some traveler's class.
I'll look at what's inside the traveler's pack. That might help you.
What circle are you?
I didn't even look.
There should be a PhD.
She took the smashy little circle.
The fun thing about Circle of the Land though is
There
natural
you go.
recovery.
Yeah, but if that's one of those things that really depends on playstyle. I think, like
What page are you on? Paul.
It says 148 for adventuring here.
Go to 148.
I'm gonna grab some. Joe, do you want anything to drink?
I got way too much room to drink.
Okay. People like you.
They might be just trying to bribe the DM. Yeah, just like people like you. I'm like, no, they're probably just trying to bribe the DM.
Can we like you? Joe,
What up?
I know you grabbed a charger and I'll borrow it for it and literally just like half an hour. It's fine. I trust you.
I am so going to start posting on your Facebook.
I'm sure you will.
Posting what?
I gave him my photo.
So I told her I'm just going to post as her now.
Oi.
I still need to change my Twitter.
Oh. I can't.
That's what I'm just looking at. What
Just why if I
would that?
cure wounds on myself.
The tent and bedrolls would be in a.
There we go.
So yeah, we can. You literally sprawl a tent out
Can't now.
and use the stony outcropping as a backing for the tent.
So it takes you guys probably about 15 minutes working together to get the tents together, you actually managed to make a 2-man tent out of a two one-man tents. Not putting up one wall or.
Well, yeah, I guess for normal people it'd be a 2-man tent, but for us it'd be a 1-man
Right.
tent.
So you guys managed to work your 2 tents together to make it large enough that you can be comfortable in it and out of the sun. You guys are now, for the most part, comfortable. And again, it takes you about 15 minutes to get that done because deserts are not very accommodating to tent pegs. Takes you a little bit of work, but you get it there. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shift back to the 4 of you. You guys are sitting in this elevator that has reset, as it were, to the hallway that you originally came down. You see a little bit of water that has trickled and is still trickling down the wall.
I think we might have to go through that portal.
Kia suggests going through the portal.
Well, you might be right, but my thought is, what if the hallway reopens? I want to go down the hallway just a little bit and look and see, because it wasn't that long of a hallway. I want to look a little bit and see if I can tell if the door's open.
It is really dark in this hallway.
I'll let it torch.
Ah.
She's looking down a dark hallway.
Can you tell if the door opened? I just want to see if it reset.
I'm gonna look down the hallway.
You can't see anything down at the other end. It's really, really, really dark.
I've got dark vision, even I can't see it.
Okay, I'm going to look and see if it reopened. I'll be right back.
Be very careful.
I'm going to slowly and carefully go and look and see if the door opened.
Okay. She's going to be gone for a couple of minutes. What are the 2 of you doing while she wanders off down this hallway?
I'm gonna want to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
I haven't moved.
You haven't moved yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm just kind of laying there going,
Ow. My body hurts.
Everything hurts.
A couple minutes pass, and Katie, you find the end of the hallway.
Is the door still shut?
You find the end of the hallway.
You find the shattered pieces of your javelin.
Well, that didn't work. Alright, I'll head back and let them know, because I'm sure by the time I get back, the 3 of them will have come up with a plan.
Okay. A couple minutes later,
Yeah.
Katie shows up. The 3 of you have mended yourselves as best you can.
We might as well keep going down.
I think we're gonna have to go through that portal.
Yep.
I don't like it, but you
I'd
know.
rather not go back up to the spikes.
Yeah, let's not.
That sucked.
The portal
let's just
seems
make
like
sure-
a safer.
At this point, when a portal seems like a safer option than spikes, that's really sad.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure maybe there's nothing on the statues. If that's the only way to go, then let's go. But let's make sure that's the only way to go.
I agree.
Check everywhere.
Wait a minute, how did you hear about this place? Do you think maybe God might have heard of it?
How'd you get
You don't know who guys?
I've heard of him, but I've never seen him in action or anything.
I want to see him in action.
I'm sure you do.
I do.
She wants to see
Up
it
close
back.
and personal.
You notice that there's some
Yeah.
drool on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Kate, eat.
Oh, sorry. That happens.
You should have seen her room at home.
I had his
Don't-
poster.
I'm sure you have an entire shrine.
She says poster. What she means is she painted a huge mural on her one wall that was that big. And Kita just stretches her arms as wide as it could possibly go.
She spent a lot of time in my room after that, but he's mine.
Alright.
I
So you guys
by all means
descend.
take him.
You guys descend back to the hallway that you're familiar with,
Yep.
leading back to the chamber with the giant purple stone magical whatchamacallit thingy. You are now in the chamber with the 8 statues and the oxen statues. What are you guys doing here?
Looking to see if the cats will come back.
There doesn't seem to be anything in this room that is alive, other than you guys.
I'm gonna look around the statues carefully.
I just go look. I'm in trouble
Okay, and what are
again.
you
That's
looking for?
two.
Like, just anything that could be helpful to us at this point.
Yeah. Right.
You see
Harmful to us.
8 different statues,
three
each
strikes
of
and then I
them
don't.
bearing a different animal's head. They all seem to be carrying similar or holding similar artifacts in their hand. You see a strange shaped,
Poor Bob.
you're not sure if it's a wand or religious artifact or what, but each half of them are carrying, I'm going to draw this out.
Uh-oh, he's drawing. You pause as you feel a shift in the world.
Each
Lines
of them
that
is
weren't there
carrying a
before.
strange wand that looks something like this. It's not, you're not too familiar with it as you haven't seen it in your travels.
Well, this don't look like a symbol the priest had. It's got a loop at the top. I
Half
think it's a
them-
necklace.
And again, half of them are also carrying a hooked
Sorry for you.
staff of some nature with different, most of them have different accoutrements to it. You see feathers on a couple of them, you see bells on a couple of them.
Whistles?
No. There's 1 or 2 of them that hold a dagger. It's various hands. But there's not much else you can see other than the jewelry. And all it's carved from stone and very well painted.
Okay, I was gonna ask if any of it could be removed or if it was
All of it is
all
very,
carved in stone.
all of it is very well painted stone. It doesn't seem that time has done anything to that.
Huh.
Amara?
Will you?
Amara?
I was healing.
You healed. What do you think we should do?
I'll let you guys decide.
No, we're asking you. We'll put you on the spot. See how that is? Yeah, we haven't done that yet. We're doing it now. Yeah. Well, while she's trying to decide what we're gonna do, because I'm not gonna do anything until she makes up her mind, I'm gonna try and push all the statues and see if any of them will move.
You're gonna push on the statues to see if they move. Okay.
Well, yeah, like the
Roll me a
base.
strength check.
Just, you know, like a nice little.
Roll me a strength check.
Stranger Things at
Last time you pushed on something, you busted something else.
11.
And 11. You put your shoulder into this thing and you drive.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And you drive. And your shoulder kind of rolls a little bit.
Eh.
But yeah, nothing else happens.
So it doesn't look like any of these were meant to.
Are there any scrapings on the floor?
No.
No scrapings, no tracks.
Oh, there's tracks.
Like
Lots of
footprints?
humanoid tracks. Everybody sprung a leak.
It's like that one scene.
I'm gonna go back over to where the glowy purple portal.
Okay. So Ash makes his way to the room with the purple magical make people thing disappear.
Are you standing in front of it or?
The giant purple people eater.
No. Here's the portal.
I'm
over here.
Purple people here.
Darn it.
Watching.
It was a good thought. I heard that.
You were
Yes, I.
Well, so you think the portal's the only way to go then?
It seems to be
I
on
was
this
gonna
one.
say, it seems to be the only area to go.
I'm gonna do one last push, make sure nothing looks like it's moving on these statues.
Same thing with the stone.
All right.
Check around the stone.
I'm gonna pull up my great
You're
axe.
gonna check around the stones.
Yeah.
All right. As you do that, you notice that in the other room with the statues, there was no marks that indicated stuff moved. When you start to investigate around the stones of this thing, you notice that there is a fine groove just on the outside of the ring of stones. And as you look at it, It's almost like it's resting as opposed to carved into the base.
That's odd. Then I'm gonna describe.
The groove is probably about an inch thick on both sides of the
Looks
stone.
like it can turn. I'm wondering if we turn this thing, if it's gonna.
Yes, and
Pop
it is blatantly stolen.
Well, this thing moves, but I don't know if we move it, if it's going to open a portal somewhere else, and we may never get those guys back.
You don't even know if this is a portal. You just know that those guys disappeared
Purple
when you
glowing
touched
thingy.
it.
Well, if we move it, maybe it'll bring them back. I mean, if they could come back, didn't you think they would have? Maybe
Or
this
they'll
is.
get trapped there, and they'll.
I'm gonna go up and try and move it. Then,
Okay.
are you gonna move it or shall
Are you
I?
going to pull down or are you going to push up?
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk up, put my hands on it, and look at Ash like, are you doing this or am I?
Technically, they were your party members first.
You really do need that scroll. Key up or down? Hello, Mara. Come on, let's play a game.
I'll help you.
The price is right. The price is right.
Okay.
The halfling's right.
Are you going
It's good
up or are
dollar.
you going down?
Your call. Up or down?
Go down.
As you both put effort into moving this thing,
Big money, big money.
it is a little more difficult. It is a little more difficult than the ring in the elevator room, but it does eventually give to your effort. And as it starts to spin, you watch as the energy inside this ring starts to become more erratic. And then as you're continuing to pull, it stops. There's nothing there.
I 1-2 step backwards.
When you finish the motion of spinning it, as it were, it doesn't really move of its own volition. It just shifts a bit more. And when it comes to rest, you watch as from the center of it, there's another burst of energy. And now it's a crimson color.
Not it! That was simultaneous! I don't know this one!
Answer like oh,
I vote we send him through. He doesn't have any friends.
I'm gonna stealth.
Okay.
I don't want him trying to throw me into the portal again.
And how are you going to stealth?
I'm gonna hide behind one of the statues.
Okay, so you're going to dip out of the room.
Well, I'm hiding behind the oxen.
Many, many oxen.
Many oxen in my
so
bed.
you're gonna dip out of the room.
Yes. Okay.
What'd you roll?
Wait, do I get advantage on
They're
it?
short. They'll fit.
No, you do not get advantage.
Well,
There's nothing that gives you
we-
advantage in this situation.
we rolled it.
There might.
Maybe one of us
Let me
should.
double check.
Do we want to bring it back to the purple to see where they went and see if we could actually get back and then roll it again?
Well, if they could
I
go
got
back,
an
or
11.
should we roll it up and see what color it is? And see
it
if maybe
goes
that's
back
it.
to the purple and then try to go farther.
Yeah, let's do that first before we do anything. And then I'll go through whichever we decide. I'll go through. It's fine.
So, what?
What if we tie the rope to you? Would
We
the rope
could-
disappear?
Let's try it. So we're gonna roll it back to see if it get in center, if it goes back to purple, and then roll it the other way, see what color it goes the other way. Because we know it's red on the bottom, and then there's purple, and then we want to see if there's a third
There's
one.
about 16 different icons on
I want to look at whatever icon is. Like, is there anything pointing to whatever the icon is?
You're not sure.
What
You're
icon
not sure.
is?
You're not sure. I mean, you did watch as it spun that it settled.
Yeah.
But there is an icon on the bottom and an icon on the top.
But I mean, like anything on the floor pointing to.
No. You're not sure which icon.
Alright. Well, let's
Try to get
roll.
that.
Let's go through all the icons, see what colors they are, and what color would a pharaoh be?
Does anybody have a pen and paper or quill of paper that we could draw the icons on?
No, me. I do these things. But you
I
guys,
have the ancient ritual books.
well, we could make the dust. We could use the dust to make marks.
I got the check.
Given the fact that I'm not necessarily hiding very well, I want to
There's a
go.
spot on the back. Jeremy, there's a spot on the back. that makes it easier.
I want to go look at
I'm not doing that.
I want to go see if I can figure out what the symbols are
How?
on the circle.
What do you mean by figure out what the symbols are?
We'll see if I can read them. If I recognize them.
Oh, go ahead. Roll me history, religion, either one of those.
Crazier things have happened. Oh, not that one. Not that. Oh, those are both bad. 17.
You are not sure what they are. They are very pretty.
Well, why don't we just turn it, see what color it goes, and then we'll pick a color and I'll go through. And what color is it? It's a pharaoh's thing. What color is a pharaoh?
What? What?
My brain immediately came up with an answer. I'm bad. Kind of a dusky brown color.
That's awful.
Anyone want a husband? We're starting the bidding at 50 cents. 50 cents going once, 50 cents going once, 50 cents going once. Tim, you asked for this. $5. I hear $5. $5 going once, $5 going twice.
So what do you
Do
guys?
I hear 10?
What are you guys up to? How are you guys? Yeah. What are you guys up to?
Cheapest husband ever bought.
I don't know. Depends on if it's U.S. currency or not.
Well, that was my.
Come on. I think I have some euros at home.
It cost me more than that.
Might need to get a goat too.
So,
I have a $10 bill in Canadian.
ladies, what are you guys up to?
I'm-
Pesos.
I'm
You
going
keep
to
faces.
take my dagger and start like scratching into the attempt to scratch into the stone so we can mark what colors.
If you guys turn it, I'll tell who what color it is, and we'll just go in order.
Okay.
What's its name, DM? What's a horse's name? Never mind.
So, as you're looking at the portal currently, depending on which icon you're looking at, the top one or the bottom one, which one are you going to mark?
I will mark what is on. Well, is there any kind of like indicator on the bottom?
That's
at
That's
all?
what we
That's why I
asked.
asked.
Okay.
And there's not.
Then I will mark. I will mark the top.
The top is almost 12 feet in the air.
Then I'll
Mark
mark
the
the
bottom
bottom.
one.
Give me half a second. Stop it.
He'll go back on stream and be like, who clapped? All of
He
us.
knows exactly who put it.
Yeah, all of us.
You three girls.
Oh,
Alright.
no.
When you take a look at the
3 girls.
when you take a look at the icon on the bottom,
Yep.
the one that you can reach, you see what looks like a half of a circle. Straight line and on the arc.
So
Okay.
half circle. Wait, is the half circle going to the right or to the left?
It's up.
Vertical.
Okay. So it's like a half. It's the rising sun.
And that's the
Okay.
red one.
I know it's
That
not
is
setting sun.
that is the red, yes.
Okay. You're
It's
not
the
there.
sun on the horizon.
You're dying somewhere. Just shush.
No, it should be. No. So which way are you going to turn it? And are we going to do it by one icon in each direction?
Yeah, we're just gonna go one at a time.
And are you on the left or the right side of this? As you're facing it in front of you, are you going to be on this side or this side?
Facing it, I'm gonna be on the left.
Okay.
And Mora's on the right, because as they do it, then I'm calling out to Kita what I see.
Okay.
So there, let's see.
One of the two of
You
you is going
giant
to
one
have to
there.
tell me up or down. I'm just
Then
going to assume
yeah.
the other one is assisting.
Right, you're there.
Assist.
I'm standing there watching. They're turning the wheel of fortune, and I'm telling her what to knot in the dirt.
What you
What
not
made
do
you
that?
Yeah,
So you pulled it
knot
down?
in the dirt.
You pulled it down?
Yeah, we went down.
Okay, so we're going counterclockwise. Depending on what side you're on.
No, we're going clockwise because she was on the right side.
Just pull it down.
Which is fine. As I can keep it going, doesn't matter. As long as I know which direction you're going.
So if you pulled it down, then I'm going to move it up because then it'll be going the same direction. Because you were on the right side. not
Okay.
the left.
Okay.
So I'm moving it up.
Wait, you said crimson, not red.
Correct.
Well, you guys figure this out and take a nap.
Alright. Okay.
You move it one, and it turns blue.
Right.
And the icon,
Is it half a Christmas tree?
no, close.
Really?
The icon goes up, and it looks like half of a feather, but the half of the feather's on the left side.
So is the line
So,
going up the middle of the feather?
Kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alright, we got that one.
You go one more, and it's green, and the icon looks like a lion.
A lion?
Yep.
Is it standing up like Lannister lion, or is it's like this?
Yeah, it's laying on its 4 feet.
What's
Oh.
a Lannister?
So is it a side view? Is
Yeah,
it front?
profile.
Okay.
Is it a golden lion? It's a stag, you idiot. Season 1.
The next one that you go to looks like an extremely long mitten.
Oh. I think I know where you got a lot of these symbols.
It looks like a hand, but there's no digits for the fingers. It's just rounded, like a mitten, and then a little piece on the top that looks like the thumb. But it's like somebody stretched it.
So if we're looking at it,
And what,
it's
si-
facing
what,
like this.
what size is that? What
That would
color
be
is that?
teal.
Teal?
Sideways, like this.
So it would be facing like
Yep,
this?
yep. And yes, for anybody who knows, these are very specific.
I love you a little bit. That was
What
probably
color
one
was
of the funnest things. Teal. So we've got crimson, blue, green, and teal.
Yep.
Not turquoise.
Then we get to yellow,
I'm waiting for seafoam green.
and it looks like a snake.
Is it the snake this way or this way?
The snake does this.
Oh, okay. It's
Like it's resting on a shelf with its tail down and its
Gotcha.
head up looking at something.
close enough. My snake didn't look right.
So the other way. So
That's
yes,
alright.
the other way.
Then we get to the next one, which is orange,
Sorry guys, you were stuck a little bit. Okay.
and it is a horizontal zigzag line.
So is it horizontal and then a zigzag on top, or
It
it's
is
just
a horizontal zigzag
So
line.
it was like,
Yes.
A heartbeat.
And
sideways?
when you take a look at it, there's actually a little bit hard because some of it's a bit worn, but it looks like there's 7 peaks.
7?
Yep.
Heartbeat.
I think that's what we're supposed to go through.
But that's orange.
Maybe he's Asian pharaoh.
it went purple.
What? No.
Then we get to an actual, a more of a red one,
Okay.
and the shape is just a rectangle, little tall rectangle, not wide rectangle.
So door.
Sure. It's just a tall rectangle.
It's a drum wall.
And now I'm running out of colors.
What's the horse's name?
Then we have a cyan color.
A what?
Cyan.
Cyan.
It's a light blue.
Well, it's a silver tinted blue.
And this looks like a twist tie, only vertical, or a braid vertical. So that you can get an idea.
All right.
Then we have a dark green. And this looks like a teacup. But it's
Mama, there's a
little bit
girl in
more-
the castle.
Either a teacup or a gravy boat.
I didn't think every night was still
Come here.
Then we have a navy blue.
Okay.
And this one looks like a necklace with an eye in the center. But it's just the string with an eye in the center. Human eye, not snake eye.
Okay, Joey, now you can have some chocolate milk too.
No, just normal milk.
From there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. We're almost there.
Yep. What did I say cyan was again?
Cyan was the braid.
With the what?
The braid.
Okay, and dark green?
Teacup.
With the teacup. I had that backwards. Thank you. From there we have a very light purple.
Okay.
Like lavender?
Lavender is a good color. And this looks like a foot or a leg from the knee down.
Okay. Mine looks like a Christmas stocking.
And then we have a pinkish color.
Pink-ish. Okay.
And this looks like
Thank you for catching that.
this looks like a bird.
Okay. What kind of bird? Like a flying?
Eagle, egret,
Egrets?
eagle or egret.
We should have gone back to that cave, John style.
I wish we never would have left that cave.
Guys,
She's dead now. What if she's who? Oh my gosh! What if she kills John? Sorry.
the next
She
color
doesn't care.
the next color we run into is a dark orange. What some people refer to as burnt orange.
Dark orange. Well, if she dies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this looks, if you were to guess, it would be a hearth.
A hearth?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's like a pot and a little bit of a flame in it.
I'm just making like a little fire thing here.
Yep, but it's inside something.
Give me one in my lamp, keep me burning, burning, burning.
We get to the next one, and this one is almost white.
13. Okay.
So off white.
First is burning pot,
White
another high.
is 14.
And it's just 3 lines, a really long one, a really short one, and one comes back down about 3/4 of the way.
So,
I'm not seeing it. Can you one more time? I was looking down for half of it.
Up.
Okay.
Over about 3/4 of the way down.
Oh, okay. It's a hooky thingy.
Okay, man.
Yeah, come with that.
Sometimes people up there that get their brain pot.
And then the last one, you get back to purple. And the icon you see for purple is...
That's only 15. Love of my life. You said 16.
Oh, I did skip one. That's fine. We'll just keep this going then.
Okay. So, are we just leaving it 15 then?
No, we'll put purple on there, and then
Okay.
we'll recover the other side for you. This one is a strange shape. It's hard for me to explain, so I will just draw it.
Okay.
the purple one, and then you have the last one, and we will say that this one is a extremely dark blue or green. You're not sure. It's almost black.
Okay, dark-ish. Blackish. It's a blackish dress.
Okay,
Probably.
we'll do
It's probably black.
A probably black. And this looks like an owl.
It's an owl. Alright.
And the owl is, if you were to, when you look at it, it's almost like its feet are perched on something. You got the tail, and it's...
Alright. Alright, so which one do we go through?
I thought I got all of them. I did skip one.
It's alright, so you have a way.
It's on.
Wait, what?
It's
It's like a boot-looking thingy.
Oh. Sorry, I couldn't hear because I got all the new.
My owl has a lollipop.
Okay. So now that you've gone through the entire circle,
Me either. Did you see mine?
now that you've gone through the entire circle,
Where'd you go in the back there?
Go on the Axel, see.
That's right.
what would you guys like to do now that you've written all this stuff down?
I look at the three of them expectantly and wait for them to tell me which one I'm going through.
I mean, might as well try the purple, I guess.
If they went through the purple, I mean, we might be able to catch back up with them, and who knows, we may be able to come back.
And it was well, if they were able to come back, why haven't they?
Doesn't mean that you can come back the same way you went in.
Yeah, I don't want to go through purple. I won't. That's not the one I want to go through.
Well, what's the one you want to go through?
Well, are they? Wait, the statues are painted. What color are the statues painted? Do they correspond?
Many different colors.
What about that strange symbol I saw?
In the stone.
The
in the
well,
stone?
the
I would know what
the cross with a loop.
You don't see that symbol anywhere on the ring.
No, I mean, what color is it?
Gold.
And it's painted gold, and there's no gold.
There's an orange with 7 peaks. There's a yellow snake.
So they went through the weird boot shape.
No, yeah, they went through the weird boot shape from the knee down. That's light purple. They went through the weird.
Well, that was a foot, not a boot. And then the other one's kind of a booty shape.
Fat.
Joseph.
Well, I don't know if I want to go through the
Alright, the two of you sitting inside your tents. I need you to roll a perception.
They made him out of bedrolls and traveling clothes.
Well, they actually have tents. It's in their traveler's packs.
They looked at the traveler's packs.
But, what'd you get?
18.
Nice.
18.
Oh, good. Both of you are actually quite attentive, even if you are just chillaxing inside your tent.
They're a tent. No,
You guys,
never mind. You rolled higher than an 18 that year.
you guys make,
Whatever.
as you guys are relaxing there, you hear a strange sound. It's an animal sound, but one that you're not familiar with. And you hear that sound, and then you hear the sound of creaking wood.
I'm not there.
That don't sound good.
And as your ears perk up to all of this, you also hear a soft chiming of metal. Almost like an extremely fragile wind chime.
What direction is it coming from?
You can't tell, you're inside the tent.
Do you want to stick your head out or do you want me? Okay.
Like,
So you're poking your head out?
Yeah.
As you do this, the sound, you realize it was kind of echoing off of the rock face behind you, which is why it sounded a little distorted to you. And you look, and just down the way from where you are, a little bit off to your right, you see a long line of about 16 wagons. Each of them in garishly bright colors, being hauled by these horse-looking creatures, except for they have extremely long necks and these strange, bumpy backs.
Are they coming at us?
No, they're kind of moving perpendicularly to you. And as your eyes acclimate to the bright sun, you start to notice that there are people dressed in white cloth that covers the majority of their body. Every once in a while, they'll let a crack of a whip at these strange creatures. And you're used to the sound of horses. These don't sound anything like horses. It sounds like a cross between a cow and a deer. And it seems that they're all traveling together. You're not 100% sure, but if you were to shout, you might get their attention.
There's big line row of wagons that are being pulled by a weird creature. Should I yell at them?
You can. Go for it. How much time has elapsed, by the way, while we've been resting?
You're about a half hour in.
Just
You're
leave
gonna
it
shout
here.
that at
It's
him?
okay.
Alright, as you do this, you
Well,
watch
no, I'm
as
there without you. Go.
you watch as a couple of
Will
heads
you shut my door,
turn
please?
from the wagon train. A couple of heads turn,
Can I pull popsicles?
and there is this moment where the sand kicks up around them, and the wagons come to a halt. And as this happens, you watch as these figures start to form out of the sand. And there are now people with weapons. Where
People.
this cyclone of sand appeared next to the wagons. And it takes you just the briefest of moments to realize I couldn't see him because these guys are extremely well camouflaged.
Well then.
And there's about a dozen of them, all of them trained on you. And then they start moving across the sand, and it is one of the craziest things you've ever seen. You two have been having nothing but a problem moving in this sand as it shifts around you, and your feet are hard to keep underneath you, and the sand gets in everything. And these guys go across that sand, barely leaving a footprint where they pass. And they move with an extreme grace and speed, and they're going to be on you in no time.
Water rock works on quicksand. And lava.
What did you do?
I said yellow.
You yelled hello and not help?
Yeah.
You sent him. I'm not there. That happens a lot.
Alright, I'll get out of the tent.
As you step out of the tent, you see these dozen people moving toward you with a strange, almost beautiful grace across the sand at you. As you're going, sand sucks, walk in. And these guys go, and they're on you that fast. Their weapons are drawn, but they don't seem to be bearing them down on you. As one of them looks up at you, what brings you to our attention? Why is it that you holler to us so?
We need help.
Why are you in the desert as such?
I'll kind of explain what happened. That we
Okay, kind of explain what happened.
like about the purple aura thing that we touched, and all of a sudden, poof, here we are.
You touched something purple and you are here?
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Where was this purple thing?
I'll explain like the kind of room and
Explain
the
it.
mummy. How we had there are statues. There's almost like a
Gabriel. It is his story to tell. Please, let him speak.
Sounds Russian.
kind of like in ancient ruins
And you say that there were statues in these ruins?
Yeah, we as we're traveling through, we end up running to. I'll describe the mummy. And tell him it was a mummy.
Oh, but these statues, what did these statues look like?
I'll describe how they kind of like stood up like a human, but they had animal heads.
Hmm.
They
Please.
they had a whole bunch of different colors.
Remove your tent.
Okay, so I'll take down my tent.
Come. Join us. We will bring you to our destination, our city. The desert can kill those who, as apparent as you two are, it will kill those who are not familiar with how to survive.
Works for me.
You guys are brought down to the wagon train, and as you get down there, they open up one of the wagons and you see 4 people in chains.
Y'all are slaves.
Who look up at you and then look at your escort, and they all avert their eyes. I am sorry that you must travel in such filth, but it is the best we can give you at this moment. But be assured, you are our guest.
Oh, guess or guest?
You are our guests,
Okay.
and we will do our best to secure you. Please let us know if our merchandise causes you any trouble, and we will take care of it. Relax, and in a moment we will bring you something to eat and something to drink. Relax. And with that, he turns and looks at them, and you stay. If you even think about touching, you will lose your hands. And you feel the wagon lurch as things start to move.
What do we do?
Oh, we might be in trouble, but.
You think we should go through purple?
Yes.
I'm kind of curious of the 7 peaks, but
I think we just ran
maybe-
You think?
they just called people merchandise. What was your freaking hint?
Hey,
I'm sorry.
they're all beneath. Those type of creatures are all beneath me, anyways.
Got an axe, I want to say.
Not there.
I know.
So you're out there.
Alright, so what?
They went through purple. Do you want to go through purple and try to find them?
Tie a rope on me, and you hold the rope, and I'll take it with me, and I'm gonna go through with my axe like this, and I'll be ready for whatever comes. I got this. Me and my barely alive self here.
Oh, jeez.
Alright, so I'm gonna tie half of my rope on me, and I'm gonna
Half
give
of your rope on you, so you got 25 foot of rope wrapped around you.
I like it.
Okay,
That way I have some to loop around them on the other side.
Oh.
It's with a purpose.
So you're taking as much rope as you can carry
Well,
while,
yeah.
while wielding your axe.
Well, I loop it like this. If you do it right, you can carry lots of rope easily.
I'm just making sure I understand.
Yes. I'm just okay. It's a couple loops.
And
I'll tie a foot or something, and then I hold the other end to you, and it's purple. Kita, if I don't make it back, tell Utgar I loved him and you're adopted, and I jump through.
Before she jumps through, I want to bring, because that rope should be able to reach one of the ox reserves.
5, 10,
Oh, yeah.
15. Yeah, you can use it to brace yourself.
I was gonna see if I can go around it and possibly tie it so I don't have to hold on.
Not with 25 foot.
25 feet. Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
have-
brace myself then because I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Well, I have 50 foot, so if I know you're gonna do that, I'll leave you enough to do that, as long as I know I have enough to.
So that would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 feet of rope.
I got 10 foot. I'm good. It's a couple times me. If I fall, I don't fall too far. Sounds good. Let's do it.
Okay.
Wait. What?
Because I'm going all the way around the ox statue.
Well, why would it have to be all the way around? Why couldn't it just be like...
Because there's no way to thread it through to tie it off.
What about around the head?
Yeah.
It's what she meant. I heard it. Please tell me I'm not wrong. If I'm not. If I am, Mike is die, but...
Okay, we'll give you another 10 foot back. And you jump through?
Bloop.
Alright. About 30 seconds after she dives through this portal, the rope drops, severed.
Oh, shoot.
You find yourself rolling a constitution real quick.
A constitution save.
Nope, just a constitution.
12.
12, outstanding. You find yourself underneath an extremely hot sun, beating down on you, almost blinding you as it is directly overhead. Your feet in sand, and a small outcropping of stone behind you, and as your eyes finally acclimate to this brightness, you just barely see a shadow of something moving. A couple of blinks later, you see this garishly colored cart following a small train.
Okay. Axe in hand, I'm gonna go, Nolan! Light! You guys out here?
Nada.
Which way is the cart going? Is it going away from me or
The train of carts is heading to your left.
to
And
my left?
at this moment, they're probably about 60 feet, 75 feet away from you.
Okay, I'm gonna use my axe to reflect the sun and like use it as a blinker. Like a flasher.
Everybody knows you're turning right. The three of you now realize that Katie is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna, I do look at the rope.
It's severed.
Oh, that's not good.
I coil up the rest of the rope. Well, that didn't work.
So
next?
you currently have 20 feet of rope on you.
Just enough to hang myself. Light! Light!
Who's going next?
Alright, and all of a sudden Kia dives through.
Oh gosh.
I need a dexterity save from you because you haven't moved yet.
18.
Outstanding.
Not today!
Oh, yes, today.
You don't love me at all.
I love you lots, but unfortunately, Katie never moved. There is a moment of disorientation that those of you who've gone through the portal feel, and your immediate thing to stop and call, you didn't move. However, there is a small gap as Kita bowls you right over, and you are now prone on your belly in the sand.
Oh, hi.
I need a constitution check from Kita.
That would be a 14.
A 14. It is ungodly hot out here. And you see pretty much the exact same thing that Katie did.
Mm-hmm.
Only the garishly colored wagons are rapidly vanishing to your left.
Do I see any signs of where Light and Norland might have gone?
Roll? No. Yeah, the answer would be yes. There is definitely foot traffic in the general area, and lots of it.
Bye.
I'm
But
putting on
also
my
by
face.
themselves.
That's what I just
They
said.
don't
Foot
have
traffic.
breaks.
That means they can see where you guys were walking through the sand.
Kita,
What?
get off.
Oh. I moved.
I then move as well because I don't want Ash Hat to land on me.
Amara and Ash.
We're gonna follow them because
Outstanding.
they can't
So,
survive by themselves.
by the sounds of it, And I need a dexterity save out of whoever's going to go through the portal first. Yes, Amara, that would be you.
Wonder if Ash has friends by himself, it would work on the cat.
5? Yep. The exact same thing happens
You're
to
not
you
bad.
that happened to Katie. You stop for a moment, try to gather your bearings, and all of a sudden you feel this pressure behind you and find yourself knocked into the sand. Can I get a constitution check from both of you, Ash and Amara?
15.
Outstanding. And you are one of them, their fighters?
I'm a pally.
Oh, you're a pally? That makes this even more fun.
I'm not wearing heavy armor though.
No, but you are wearing metal armor.
No.
No.
I'm
You're
wearing
wearing
leather with a chain shirt.
You're wearing metal.
Chain is metal, dear.
I would like
I love you.
Well,
science, it's a wonderful thing. The chain is extremely overbearing, is gathering the heat to the point where it's extremely uncomfortable. You feel this urge to not let it touch your skin any longer.
Yeah, I'm taking the chain shirt off.
The sun casts heat metal.
Yes.
I take out a silver and hand it to you as you take your chain off.
You are all now well aware of the fact that there is heavy foot traffic here, and with the comment from Katie, you guys watch as this wagon train is vanishing off to the left.
And the foot traffic's headed that way?
The foot traffic is headed down the dune, and as you look down the dune, you can see that it matches the path that the wagons are taking.
We gotta follow that wagon.
Yep.
Nolan, wait for us. Why are you shushing me? They went that way.
Yeah, but we don't know who they are.
It's hot out here and they got a wagon. What do you want?
Sneak attack.
Yeah.
you attack someone you don't know.
Yeah, she made it through.
Alright,
I turn around and I see-
everybody is there with the exception of Norland and Light.
Alright, so there's
On the road again.
Kita saw the tracks going that way. There's a wagon disappearing that way. It's hot out here.
Lots of wagons heading that way.
There's lots of wagons heading that way. And she wants to hide. I wanna go get in the dang wagon. What you think?
If their tracks,
Follow the tracks.
if their tracks are going towards where the wagons are, that's probably where they are.
Well, right, so why don't we
I
just
can hide
catch
behind him.
up with them?
You can't hide, Brianna.
Alright, we'll find them. I sit down and cross
I can
my
hide
arms.
behind him.
When you guys decide what to do, I'll just follow along.
It's not gonna be hard.
I say follow the tracks.
I'm gonna start walking towards the where the tracks are.
I follow Ash.
Okay.
I stuff my
Bravo.
chain shirt in my bag. I'm like, God, it's hot, and keep walking.
I follow behind Ash as well, very closely.
Times like this, I'm glad I'm a
Like
coffee.
his butt?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already said I was behind him, so you
So
know
you're
this is up my
peeping
butt
at
again.
Behind it.
You can both stare at Ash's butt, that's fine.
I wasn't staring at
You're
Ash's
both-
butt, I was thinking about Utgar.
No, you're both behind the ass.
Maybe
are
I
you
should let
taking the
Kitty go
lead, or are
first.
you in the
It's
rear?
hard for me to see over here.
I'll take the lead.
Alright. You guys start making your way through this desert to the tracks and follow where they're headed, and you all realize that traveling through sand is extremely difficult. All of your movement is reduced by a full 10 feet.
Let's not get the wagon, she said. It will be great, she said.
So for those of you who can do the math, if your movement speed is 25, that means your total movement speed is now 15.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, you're a druid. Can't you carry us? Like, can't you be a or something?
Oh, wait, can we
Could
see
you
the
be a
wagons
camel?
still?
Not from this distance.
I was wanting to see a camel.
You have no idea what one is.
Oh. I saw a picture of this lumpy, short
We
giraffe
don't have
once.
pictures in this place.
But I like your lumpy, short giraffe idea. Never mind. Keep carrying on. Short, lumpy giraffe. Maybe I got imagination.
Extinct.
Oh, you got a very good imagination.
She has to have been able to witness
can
them
form
in their
into a
natural
wolf.
habitat.
So it's
A wolf
Spinosaurus
will-
leggings or Pete.
We could ride. I always want to ride a wolf. But wouldn't that be hot with the fur? What about a horse?
Can you change into a horse?
Yes.
You could technically do draft horse, war horse, pack horse. Because you get moon, right? Oh yeah, you think how transform into
You
any
can
kind of
turn
horse
into
you want.
any basic land creature up to a CR1.
Like you could be a dire wolf.
Oh god.
Pack survives.
Now, mind you, she can only do that for an hour per use.
Right, but it might help us catch the wagon.
I don't have a big enough net.
You're not there.
Oh.
I'm walking as I'm.
As you guys start walking your way through the desert, you realize that this wagon train is making much better time than you guys. But they're leaving a very definitive trail. Hard to miss it.
Which one of you two is the loudest? Loudest, so you can yell for their attention. Do it.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
See, I couldn't even read it. Transforms into like a bird.
Dragons!
If you.
I can't do that one.
I said, oh yeah.
I could do a monkey.
Okay. You holler out through the desert, and the wagon train just keeps moving.
Even if I try to flash with my axe while I yell.
It appears that your noise didn't catch anybody's attention.
I don't think they can hear me. They're too far away.
And about 10 minutes passes, and I need the 4 of you ladies to roll me a perception.
Maybe when they stop for the night. That would be passive.
Kita,
13.
nice. Ash,
I made this.
Amara,
16.
awesome. And Kita, Katie,
13.
13.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You guys,
Is this mine?
who rolled higher than an 11? So everybody rolled higher than 11?
Except for Ash.
Except for Ash?
Ash done them.
The 3 of you notice that slightly off to the side of the wagon trail markings that you see, there is a really strange lump in the sand.
I will go look at the lump.
Careful.
Well, I'm going to gently take out my javelin,
Okay.
and I'm going to gently poke the lump.
Like poking with the stick.
As you,
Yes, I'm going to poke it
It's
with
a
a
apple
stick.
pie.
as you gently poke this lump. No,
Oh,
but
wait,
you
how
didn't-
big of a lump is it?
You didn't ask. You just said you're going to run up and poke it.
I didn't say run up, I just going to poke it with a stick.
You walk up to this strange lump in the sand and you poke it with your javelin, and you watch as this leathery creature
Oh no.
pops up out of the ground.
It's not camel pie! Oh, it's
And
fine.
it's a strange thing to see,
Hi there. Got an axe, you want to see?
right? And as it pops up, there are 4 more that burst out of the sand around you that you didn't see. Especially Ash, who was oblivious to all 4 of them.
Guys, we've got a problem.
Yeah, you do, but I can't find where it went.
Well, then maybe they all ran
They
away.
did not run away.
I intimidate them.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I want to try to intimidate them. Can I try? My life kind of depends on it.
You know, well, somebody could probably pick one up and start petting it and sell that
There you go.
girls.
Naughty.
You see this
Hold on.
guy
Hold on.
Ah.
in front of you.
Oh.
No. Great. Great.
Yeah, you don't want to pick one of them up there, ugly.
And they, as the four of these things
Nice.
burst out of the ground, you watch as, again, they're leathery creatures and they seem completely devoid of any life. I mean, you saw the mummy thing. These guys look like they have less clothing on than the mummy. And they all are carrying these tall pikes with extremely long, almost 18-inch long bladed ends. And they all kind of put the weapons facing toward the four of you. What are you guys doing?
Take her and run. I'm gonna look at Amara. Take her and run. And I've got my javelin out, and I want to lob my javelin at the closest one.
Amara? What are you
Okay,
doing
harder
as
with
this
the
all
stick.
happens?
I will transform into a horse and get.
Okay. And
We
Kita,
could all fit on the horse.
Kita, what are you doing as this happens?
I'm pulling out my short bow.
Outstanding. Ash, you're oblivious.
So it is.
Yep. Yep. I'm well aware.
I'm such a pretty elf.
You grab your javelin, bring your arm back, and you get ready to throw. Amara, you turn into the horse. Kita, you knock an arrow and start to draw back, and all of a sudden you hear Ash, you're finally aware that things are not as they seem.
You look up.
As you all for at this moment turn, and about 20 feet ahead of Amara, you see a man striding toward you, and he's wearing white robes. He's got a small purple trim on the right hand side of the robes. No, not this way, this way. And he's carrying a scepter that looks very familiar to that strange one that you saw in the hands of the statues. Only rather than just being short, it's got an extremely long handle as he's walking forward with this in his hand. It's made of a spiraled purple and gold. What are you all about? Answer me true, or my creations will make sure you no longer walk.
I'm Katie.
I'm Kita.
She's adopted. We went through. We're looking for our friends. They went through this purple wiggly on the wall, and then we went through it. It cut the rope, see? And we saw the wagons. We were trying to catch them, thinking our friends made it over there. And then these things popped up and scared the bejeebers out of us. So I told her to turn into a horse and take her and run away while I held him off. I don't know what he's doing.
He was just kind of like, doop, 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 doop. He's too full of himself.
Nice to meet you, I think. I'm not good at lying, asked my sister. It's kind of what happened.
Well, I can hear two voices. I see four people.
I don't know if she can talk like that.
You can name me.
Two of our compatriots also went through this purple.
Yes, she
Energy.
said as much.
Yes, and we were trying to look for them.
Well, we can put her to work.
She's a horse. She can't say anything.
Did the place you were in have statues?
Yes.
Yes.
8 of them. and this wheel with symbols, and you turn the wheel, and the wooey thing on the bowl changed colors.
You watch as you do this. He grabs his scepter. He waves it, and you hear a strange dialect from him. And you watch as the four creatures drop into the sand, becoming part of the desert again.
Oh, creepy. Is that
and then the sand itself starts to shift underneath the four of you and him as it creeps up and creates this strange solid surface, even though you can watch as it ripples underneath you. And all of a sudden the desert starts to move at an extreme pace while you're on this sand. As you look around, the caravan in front of you is growing larger as you approach with an extreme speed.
Your scepter, is that a Phileo-toed rectory?
What? I am unaware of what it is you speak.
There's we found ourselves in this temple because of the dragon, and he
You
said,
hurt my head, child.
"Oh, I get that a lot."
Mono surf!
And
Come on.
Desert surf.
You're adopted.
as you guys are moving through the desert as like this, you watch as from the sand this arm of some nature reaches up and moves the door on the side of the caravan. You guys pull up alongside it, and I need all four of you to roll a dex save.
Oh god.
I can handle that.
So, I think I would
17.
Copycat.
10.
Outstanding.
17.
17s. The two of you that rolled a 17, you managed to land without much trouble. You two, on the other hand, are about as graceful as a horse on crutches.
Pun intended.
And you land heavy and hard into this wagon.
Are you still in horse form?
Yes. Which makes it even worse because as you
Oh, I mean, is it just
fall,
All I can think of right now is tangles.
can I have you roll a d8?
Oh no.
No. No.
It looks like two pyramids stuck together.
No.
That's a 1.
That's a 1?
That's a 1.
Oh, that makes it much different.
I can't read that one. So
Kita?
No.
You were too
Yeah.
slow. You were too slow.
Yeah.
No.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage
From the horse flank.
as the horse
Plans on.
flails from landing and you get kicked.
Ow.
It almost takes off the head of a bunch of chained people in the wagon as well.
You might want to back.
I need you to roll a 1d4.
Please don't hit me again.
all I can do is, he said turn into a horse.
1, you wind up tangled up in the pile of bodies with manacles and chains. And we're going to take a bit of a break now, while you guys figure out what to do with your position. We'll be back in just a little bit.
We'll take a short break, I think, right?
Yeah.
Short break? Okay, short
Probably
break.
15 minutes.
See you guys in a bit.
Bye.
Alright, and we're back. So, the 4 of you have found yourself inside a wagon with 4 people in chains and no idea really what's going on except for this guy transported you on sand and launched you into this wagon. Norland and Light, you guys, partway through this journey that you're taking, have been introduced to this wagon train by somebody who said that they will come back and take care of you in a bit. And while you're moving, the door opened up and this person on the back of the strange animal that you saw tosses in a skin. This is water. And then tosses in a sack. And in here is bread and cheese. Do be warned though. Do not get too close to the merchandise. It seems that they do not know how to keep their hands to themselves. And if they do decide to try and take your food or your water, please be kind to let us know, and they will lose their hands. And he closes the door.
Do you not notice
Well,
the
thank
addition
you.
of 4 extra people?
Or
What
we don't
for
know if we're in
extra
the
people?
same wagon.
What 4 extra people?
We're in a wagon. We're not good there.
Do we see our friends?
No.
Okay.
Do we see anybody?
You see 4 people bound in chains and Ash trying to extricate himself from those 4 people.
What? What?
And a horse trying to right itself in this wagon, which is extremely awkward because the wagon does not seem to be very conducive to such a large animal in it.
Maybe you should.
Making angry faces.
Change
It's
back.
gonna be a horse.
Just do it, be the horse.
The good news is it seems that being out of the sun makes it a bit more bearable.
What?
So, Light and Norland, you guys have food and water, and these 4 people who, as you spent a bit more time in here, you realize that they look pretty frail. And there is a bit of fear on their faces with your guys' presence. But at the same time, they are looking at your food and water with an intensity. But they are making no move toward you.
Because they don't want to lose the hands.
What?
I say we share. Just very quietly.
Okay, so you're going to give them some of your food.
Excuse me.
When you open up the
Are they spicy ones?
package that has food in it, you realize that there's 3 decent-sized chunks of cheese, about yay big,
Sure.
and probably half a dozen loaves of bread, and they're just a little bit bigger.
Okay. And how many people? 4?
4.
4.
The skin, however, doesn't look like it doesn't look like you guys are going to be able to share too very much.
Well, skin of water.
You're not sure. It's just a skin.
I'm like, you try what's ever in here first. You said it was water. What?
I guess I'll try.
Like,
Oh, thank you, Butcher.
As you take a sip of the water, or what he said was water, it's different. As you do this, there's a strange hint of flavor in it. You're not 100% sure what it
Lemon
is,
water.
but it's kind of sweet.
Does it smell like chloroform to you?
It has a weird taste.
But as you take it, it almost soothes your throat as it goes down.
Wonder who his
Helps,
distributor
but
is.
it's still sweet. It has a weird taste. Want I sit?
I'm gonna wait a little bit. See if how it affects them.
Okay.
And I have daggers, so I can divvy up food.
Okay, so you're gonna, as you do this and you hand off, go to try and hand some of the food to the people in chains, the moment you start to reach forward, you watch as all of them shrink back away from you. And even though they're ravenous, you know, the look on their face is, we really want this. The look of apprehension and fear takes over even more. Their eyes getting wide and their color, even though they are very dark skinned, you can see that they blanch just a little bit.
Okay. I'll set it on the floor of the wagon and I'll back away.
They do not go anywhere near it. What are you doing?
Just watching.
Okay.
Alright, so we're in Alway. Are you staying in horse form?
No, I'm gonna try to transform.
Okay.
As soon as you revert back to your normal form, you hear an exclamation from the people in chains. Very similar to what I described here. Dark skinned. They're wearing rags. They look pretty frail to you, but you transform back into your normal shape, and all of them, their eyes get big. They are awestruck at what they just witnessed. But at the same time, they all, in unison, back up into a corner to get as far away from you as possible.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. She's got magic, but she's good. Why are you in chains? Have you done something horrible? Can you not speak? Kita, they can't speak. It's so sad. Help me.
Probably not that they can't speak, it's that they're not going to.
But why?
Look at the fear on their faces.
Are you hungry?
Do you speak the common tongue?
I love you a little bit. He knows nothing. I'm going to take my water skin off my pack. It's really hot and you don't look well. Would you like a drink?
And you watch as they shrink back even. As hard as it is, they all try and shrink back even more from you.
No, it's safe. Look. See? It's just water. I won't tell anyone. You have my word.
Roll the persuasion.
Persuasion 11.
11. They're still extremely shy about it, but you see that now their curiosity is starting to perk up a little bit.
I slowly, I kneel down. I'm already short, but I kneel down and I go to give a sip to the first one and see if they'll take it.
They're trying to get away from you.
I'll move back. Have you seen this before? What happened to them? What kind of asshole?
Would I know that they're...
That they're slaves?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that what you think?
Because we didn't have that in our city.
That we know of.
That we know of.
Well, they're chained up for a reason and they're shrinking back, so obviously... What if they touch it and something bad happens to them?
For drinking water? What kind of animal would do that to another person?
Maybe they're allergic to water.
Kita, no one's allergic to water.
How do you know?
Is that what happened to you?
Are you doing anything other than turning back into your normal form?
Just shaking my head at those two arguing over them being scared.
You're not scary. Maybe you can talk to them.
They just watched me transform.
Just got a point.
Yes, but we explained that you're good and that's just how your magic works. I don't have magic, but I brought an axe and we'll see.
I don't think that's going to make them feel better.
And they may have had something bad happening with magic.
But I use my axe to protect people. That's what I do.
But it's sharp and pointy and it's kind of scary looking.
Only for the person who hurts someone.
And you're kind of scary looking.
While you guys are having this conversation, time has passed and you can't see outside. There's no windows. The only type of airflow that you get from this is you can see that there is what looks to be some sort of vent on the top of the wagon. You have a sneaking suspicion that that's part of what helps the airflow through this. It might also be why the wagons are cooler.
Okay.
You guys, none of the chained up folks have gone anywhere near the bread and cheese that you've set in front of them. They are all curled up in the corner.
I could try to be charismatic. Yeah, I'll try it.
How so?
Try to persuade them.
How?
By me handing lighted piece of bread and me taking the piece of bread and going, then taking our piece of bread and handing it out to them.
One for you,
Every
one for me.
every time you get food near them, they shrink back from you.
I wonder
I'll
if
try talking to them. Do they seem to understand common tongue?
What are you trying to say to them?
Good.
Can you understand?
You speak
Wait a minute.
Hello. How
Question.
are you? Okay. No.
Question. Are any of them injured?
We're not in your wagon right now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so,
Don't tell me to shush.
Well,
You're not
what
my
happens?
husband.
I don't know.
I don't even listen to him
Is there
tell me
any-
to shush. I think I listen to you screaming.
I'll talk to him in Draconic and say, I don't know what the hell to do.
You watch,
Oh,
as soon as you start speaking in Draconic, again, their eyes get huge and the fear on their face, you can almost smell fear coming from them as these strange guttural sounds start coming from you. Some of them even start to shake a little bit.
See what you done?
I can't like neutral, I don't care anymore. I'm like, whatever, you deal with them. I'm just gonna go put my back in the corner and be like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna rest.
Oh, it's like kind of like inch by inch.
Mm-hmm.
So you show them that here they hurt.
Say that one more time?
Oh, let's do like inch by inch. Show them I'm not here to really hurt them or whatever.
Okay.
And see if they got injuries.
As you take a look, they do have some minor injuries to them where the cuffs are around their wrists and ankles. You do see chafing marks as though it's dug into their skin a little bit, but there are no serious injuries to them, no.
You want food?
All of them, when you say that, when you say do you want food, they all look like excited at the prospect, but at the same time, they're all kind of hiding in the corner.
We can give you food, but we don't have to tell them.
Roll a perception. Or not perception, persuasion. Wrong keyword.
nope, not that one either. Nice.
19!
As soon as you say we don't have to tell them, you watch one of the younger ones reach out and grab some of the bread that he had set down and slowly starts to bring it toward him, and the entire time he's watching the two of you.
I'm gonna scoot back.
You're going to scoot away?
Yeah.
Okay. As you do that, he pauses for a minute, and then you get to the other side, and then he breaks off just a small piece and sticks it in his mouth and watches the both of you.
I'll do this motion like A nod.
Okay. Roll me one more persuasion.
Take
Do I add my charisma?
You add your persuasion.
It's under the peas.
You're in a different wagon.
You hear my voice
I
in your
was
head.
looking for it. I knew where it was at.
I just thought it'd be helpful.
Okay. 17.
And as soon as you're like this, he takes a big chunk off of it and starts breaking it down and handing it to the other ones, and they all wolf it down.
See.
You watch as one of them starts to choke a little bit as he's eating it way too fast.
Oh no.
I'll make this motion like slow down.
So yes, your fellows in the wagon are now mowing down on a little bit of bread. The four of you,
Your turn.
Yep.
one of you had asked if they were injured.
Yes. Are they injured?
You see the same thing. They have marks from the shackles and the manacles on them, but no serious injuries.